Big racing nights, big wagering pools are here at Los Alamitos. Check out some of our recent pools in the early pick four. Over 200,000 on February 16th and nearly 170,000 on February 15th. Plus our late pick four had a pool of over $160,000 on February 16th. And of course our traditional pick six often has a pool of over $60,000 on Sunday nights. Plus much more. Big racing nights, Los Alamitos Racecourse.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us in the Los Alamitos preview show. We have a big weekend ahead this week with the running of the Moonist Stakes on Sunday. Really good race. Of course, next weekend is going to be huge with the Los Alamitos Oaks on Saturday, the El Primero on Sunday. And happy to be joined right now by maybe the hottest quarter horse handicapper that we have right now, George Duarte. And I say quarter horse handicapper, but your pick last week was a thoroughbred. Gianna's Girl winning at 9-2. Nice victory. How did that feel, George, to pick another winner here on the previous show?
It's good. Spending all that time watching replays. You see a horse that you liked on the replays, and then they come through for you. And I got to give the most credit to Eric Garcia. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to stay within range. He found a hole, along the inside and got through, and it was awesome, especially at 1180 mutual. That's even better.
Well, what's even better is that you're going to give us another selection here on this edition of the show, because that's what it's all about, is selecting winners. We don't live in the past. We don't sit on our laurels. We want the next winner. So where are you going with your next selection here, George?
I'm gonna keep this winning streak as long as possible, so I'm gonna go in the last race on Sunday as my pick in the Moonist Stakes.
All right, well, that's gonna be a really fun race. We have some outstanding older horses in that race. Let's bring up the PPs here. Let's go live. Let's go full page on these past performances, because this is such a good field. $35,000 Moonist Stakes, and there's the Brazilian star Edberg Verde. Qualified to the Brad McKenzie grade 1 race, but just didn't have much of a go in that one. Ended up finishing 7th. Just being a friend, seems to always get in these grade 1 races like the Brad McKenzie, the Vessel's Maturity. Did win a first down dash stakes a few years ago. Just a solid horse. Doing it just for fun is a very interesting horse here for our owner, Ted Abrams. We don't have the odds on this yet because we are recording very early on Friday morning. We'll talk a little bit more as to why that is later on the show. Kevin Weiss Corona qualified to the Brad McKenzie as well, finished 4th in the grade 1 race. He's a stakes place runner in graded stakes races. There he is, the gray veteran Cattail Cove, making his 53rd career start. I look back, in 48 of his first 52 races have been either a stakes race or a stakes trial. He's won 10 races. All in all, he's finishing the money 34 times. Just a tremendous warrior, Cattail Cove. There's a 6, SM Just Corona. Returns here to Los Alamitos after a brief stay at Turf Paradise. Ready for it. 3-year-old last year, now making his first start as a 4-year-old, facing these solid older horses. And price fixer for owner David Hinkins, also with some stakes experience, right in the first down dash handicap last year. George, you say you have a horse to watch in this really good race, so I can't wait to hear who he is.
I always give a hard time to Chris when he keeps picking a horse and they keep losing for him, but I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll be a hypocrite, and I really like Edberg Verde. He's just had bad luck since he's come back off that brief layoff off the Boniface grade 1. And, on his trial to the Brad McKenzie, he got bumped out pretty solidly by Unrelentless, and then just, finished evenly. And then last out, again, he had trouble at the start. He bumped with the rival, lost his path, and he finished with interest. I like that he didn't give up, and he showed run. And he's run well from the rail before. And Henry does good from the rail as well. So I just think in this field, normally his issue's been he's quick, and then the big closers are the ones that outfinish him. But in this field, this is a field full of runners that are typically the ones getting outfinished. They're usually quick, and it's the final 16th is where they just get past. And so that's why I really like him. I think he'll be out there with the front, and I just really like how he's starting to finish his races better. I really respect his stablemate and Kevin Weiss Corona. He's really blossomed as a 4-year-old. He ran really good in the trial, and he didn't get out to the best start in the final, and it showed really good acceleration as well. And he just got finished by better horses, better older horses that are more accomplished. So, respect to him in that effort.
He is going to start from post number 5. You're going to see that he pretty much loses his path. I'm talking about Edberg Verde right here from post number 5. I'll go ahead and let that play.
So, yeah, he got bumped there. Then he loses his path right here. And if you watch him, you think normally is where they give up and they just keep losing ground. But he kept on. He was asked by Henry, and he finished okay. He finished with interest. He passes the 6 horse, or he almost passes the 6 horse. So I thought he showed heart and finishing, and he galloped out. He's approaching the winners on the turn. So I just really like that effort. He tried, even though he faced that adversity. Usually when they're behind horses, they don't want to run. So, and he's still, he's not really a 5-year-old. He's only a 4.5-year-old since he was born in the fall. And he just has a lot of upside. I like the rail draw for him. And from what I've noticed, we had rain this week here in Southern California. And the inside tends to do better when the track starts drying out. At first, usually when it rains, it favors the outside. But as the track starts to dry out, the inside ends up being the faster area. So that's why I actually enjoyed to see that he got the rail post. When I saw the nominations, and I liked him already, and then he got the rail post, and that actually made me more excited for him.
Yeah, we're talking about a horse that has faced the likes of Impressum, London Toby, Jericho, so many of the big horses here. So he definitely fits nicely in this Moonist Stakes field. It should be a really fun race. I know you have to go to Vegas, and usually you go to Vegas this time of the year for the NHC championships. You've gone there many times. This time you're going for another type of championship. You guys are looking to secure your bowling league title. It's something that I know it's a huge part of your week every time that the you and the Hitman and Miss Hitman get out there and bowl, and right now you're going for that title, right?
Yeah, well, we secured the regular season title a few weeks ago, and this one is just like they call it the sweeps, where it's just the year-end title. But this is where the biggest money's on the line, so hopefully we can bowl well. He's about to pick me up in about 10 minutes, and we're going to head out, and hopefully, we do well. I practice enough. I should be doing good, so I really hope I have a good weekend, and I'm gonna be definitely wagering on the cards Saturday and Sunday. They're good, solid cards. Saturday's races are pretty competitive outside the last race where you have that, but then you get to see a horse that's I think is an up and coming, possibly stakes horse in the last race on Saturday. So there's good racing all around.
We're talking about course special 2 Corona for trainer Felix Gonzalez in that race number 9. Just a really nice prospect there. Has won 2 races in a row here at Los Alamitos and looked really good about it. I know you're going for the highest average pin in the bowling league, right? Is that you're going for the highest average?
Yeah, I got the highest average.
You got the highest average. That's locked in. And Miss Hitman going for the most improved player. She's like the Austin Reeves of your team. Just continues to rise and takes her game to another level each and every season. George, best of luck in Vegas. Thank you for joining the show, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right, hopefully with another winner.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with Michael Wrona and Chris Wade.
Introducing Rolling A Ranch's newest stallion, Dasha Good Reason, a son of multiple champion Good Reason S.A. and a half-brother to champions Heza Dasha Fire and I'm a Fearless Hero. Dasha Good Reason was a finalist in the Grade 1's Los Alamitos $2 Million Futurity and Los Alamitos Super Derby.
Dasha Good Reason.
And he's ready to shine again in California at Rolling A Ranch.
Grabbed by Dasha Good Reason.
With impeccable breeding and success on the track, there are many reasons to book your mare to Dash a Good Reason in 2025.
And welcome everyone to the Los Alamitos preview show. As promised, we're joined now by Christopher Wade and Michael Wrona. How are you, fellows? Looking forward to a nice Saturday night of racing here at Los Alamitos. And I know both of you are keying in race number 8. Chris, we'll start with you. Tell us about your selection in race number 8.
Well, I'm going to give just an edge. It's a closely matched affair, but this horse, I'm talking about the 6-horse Boutique. This horse has got talent, but it's her own worst enemy. Always seems to find some trouble. Comes out of 2 very strong races, when running better than looked, versus some productive races. 2 races back, that good-looking little 7 came back to a dead heat in a stakes race. And then she came out of a race where she had trouble once again in her most recent race, 48 nights ago. Come out of the race where the winner was long gone, and Mambasita ran very well. And the horse of that particular race is going to be your favorite in the finale. That's a special 2 Corona. So it comes out of 2 very strong races. I know she's got lots of races up there. She's like 0 for 17, but she's got talent, but always seems to find strife. And comes out of 2 very strong races where the winners have come back to run very, very well versus winners and Allowance Company, and Stakes Company. So just a slight look to that horse, Boutique. What caught my eye was the price. 8-1 for this horse with whose numbers were right there with the rest of the field. So I'm going to give her a slight look in a race that's very closely matched. You can't go too short in the pick 4 because you got like 4 or 5 of the horses in this race that have legitimate chances.
Well, this would be the race to spread, since in race number 9, special 2 Corona looks really, really tough. Another thing about Boutique, Oscar Peinado off to a really good start. 6 wins already from 22 starts. He's winning at a 27% clip. Let's go ahead and take a look at that January 26th race, Chris, when Boutique ran 3rd, going 15.75 from post number 5. So here's that race, Chris, with Boutique starting from post number 5.
She broke a little slow and head eye and skied inward away from there and was crossed by quicker horses. But she finishes relatively well the final half over a wet racing surface. That long gone winner there was a special 2 Corona. Is going to be your Boutique. Did run better than looked, had a little trouble early, and finished okay the final half of the affair versus 2 very well-met horses. Don't forget, Mambasita did come back to break her maiden despite getting around bunches and breaking the gate open, and come back and broke her maiden impressively. And the horse who was behind her came back to run very well as well. So this horse, 0 for 17, but she's been facing some good company. If she can get away clean, she has to look at the outcome. And that price, that 8-1 money line, it kind of entices a little bit there. So give her a look at the outcome.
Of course, the winner right there, special 2 Corona, is going to be the big favorite in race number 9 on Saturday night. So that's a good look at number 6, Boutique. Michael, you've been waiting patiently here. Thank you so much. And you have a selection in race number 8 as well.
Well, it's interesting that there's been so much talk about special 2 Corona, who'll be the hot favorite in the 9th, because my long shot pick in race 8 is a full brother, number 7, Da Milagro, who actually has a couple of parallels through the work tab. The December 14 work was special 2 Corona's final workout that morning before debuting, and it was the first workout showing for Da Milagro, who's obviously been a bit behind the schedule of special 2 Corona. If we look at the most recent gate work before this horse debuted on February 4, I think you'll see some talent past the finish line and around the turn in the gallop out after the horse broke inwards very sharply. Had no idea in the first half of this drill, but once Da Milagro got balanced and straightened up, he began zooming past the finish line and impressed me all the way around the turn.
This family has always been very, very solid. This mare has produced a lot of nice runners over her career as a brood mare. And 2 Corona Special, a stallion that Felix Gonzalez raced and owned and stood for a while, does do really well with very, very limited horses that he sires. But it's a nice family. They've had horses that have been stakes winners here at Los Alamitos. They've had horses that have qualified to the Champion of Champions. And we keep mentioning special 2 Corona and race number 9. And like you mentioned, Michael, a full sibling to Da Milagro. So let's take a look now at that last outing from Da Milagro. That would be February 15th, his only race here. We'll take a look at that one.
Clanfield Axe Stables owns both horses, and the parallels don't end there, because this night of February 15, the debut from the rail of Da Milagro, and you can see him ducking in at the gap, proving very hard to ride, came on the same night as Special 2 Corona's third race and second win. Now, the horse finishes last, but once the camera eventually catches up with the field around the turn in the gallop out, have a look at him, right up there, and in fact had the strongest gallop out clearly of the bunch. This debut race is very similar, very reminiscent of that final gate work, whereby he broke inwards, and then at the gap here, he lugs in even more. He's a real handful for Henry Lopez, as was the case in that morning workout. Da Milagro had very little clue what was going on in the first half, but I just liked what I saw from him in the gallop out around the turn. There's talent here. I think it's well-concealed talent, and maybe I'm going off a little early because the horse could possibly need another race or two to put it all together. But he does go from the rail to the extreme outside, where he will break with horses inside of him. Henry Lopez is up again, knows this horse's quirks. If Henry can keep Da Milagro straight in the first 50 yards, I think he's got a chance. And at 12-1, I'm willing to find out. If he were 4 or 5 to 6-1, I wouldn't be interested. But at these odds, on the glimpses of ability that this horse has shown me in the morning and at night on debut from the rail, I think he's worth a shot. I think he's got a chance if he goes straight.
That's the big key, right? If he goes straight. Chris, just watching Da Milagro go inwards in that gate work and then inwards in that debut race, Boutique better be flying out of the gate.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully, if she breaks a step slow with that breaking in, she could get crossed or get brushed harshly away from the barrier. But that was a very impressive workout. I gave that comment on that workout. Galloped out STT, galloped out stuff wrong, which was very impressive around the turn. 350 would be more attractive, but the horse has abilities. This horse could just possibly lean in and break with the field. Could have a big look at the outcome, grab a slice of the pie at the very least. And the ability is there. This horse is bred well. Like I said, it's a full brother. It's the probable winner, the heavy favorite in the finale. So the ability is there. It's just a matter of getting out of the gate and be a run straight. So has a look at the outcome. And as Michael noted, that price is attractive.
Yeah, it's a possibility if either one of these horses wins that we could have a very juicy late pick 4 payout. We have started simulcasting the races from Remington Park, Chris. In last weekend, they had trials, futurity trials. This weekend on Saturday, they have a couple of nice Grade 2 stakes races. The East Texas race number 9. The Dequera is race number 10. I know you have a selection here for race number 9, a simulcast race we'll be bringing in from Remington.
Yeah, there's 2 horses coming out of the same race. The 2-horse Mystic Paint was one of my picks. Last time this horse did run, and accuracy coming back quickly, coming back in 7 nights. One of my favorite angles when they come back quick. For some reason, they're just a little bit more attractive to me. They get out of gate a little bit better for some reason. And Mystic Paint did break relatively, but not a bad effort from the rail and ran pretty well. But the one that caught my eye was Sir James, drawn up against this horse tonight. Comes out of it, that 250-yard affair. And didn't get away all that well. Broke a little slow and skied out, kind of slow in the stride, but was absolutely flying late the final half to make it very, very close with the aforementioned Mystic Paint at the wire, and galloped off very strong. And going from that 250 speed sharpening affair, coming back quickly in 7 nights, now going out to 350 yards. This horse wants that yardage. So if Sir James could break relatively well, I think this horse has a big look at the outcome. And that 92 morning line is kind of enhances my enticement for Sir James. Could have a big look at the outcome with expected better getaway and straight run, and the added yardage helps as well.
What about the rail horse? I did a double take when you were scrolling through that field, Orlando. Sunday Silence? I called him in the Hollywood Gold Cup of 1990.
Yeah, and this horse, also appeared in some Grade 1 quarter horse races. So what what a shelf life, right, for
Yeah.
Sunday Silence here. I
Unbelievable.
kind of took a look at the 4 Relentless Coronado, a horse that we've seen many times here at Los Alamitos, running the Grade 2 Southern California Derby last year. Edwin Escobedo jumps on this horse, and Edwin's off to a really good start as well at Remington Park. Here's the rest of the field. He's a Jet 1, has won close to $250,000, and Cardiac Cowboy has won over $300,000 here. So come and join us here at Los Alamitos. Enjoy the simulcast racing from Remington Park. They have some excellent quarter horse races every weekend. Let's go ahead and move on now to Sunday. And George and I already kind of previewed the Moonist Stakes, but love to if you hear your thoughts in this race. He went with Edberg Verde as his selection in race number 9, giving him another try, similar to how you like Optical Illusion, Chris, that you keep coming back to Optical Illusion. He is sticking with this Brazilian horse, and let's see if he gets rewarded here. Just being a friend, once again, stakes winner and a winner of close to $500,000. Doing it just for fun. Really like this horse's ability, but at 350, he just missed at 350, and this race is at 400 yards. Let's see if second out here at Los Alamitos, he gets that extra distance here from post number 3. Kevin's Weiss Corona in Cattail Cove. We've seen these horses in many stakes races, especially Cattail Cove. And here's the rest of the field. SM Just Corona, Ready for It, and Price Fixer. Michael, any thoughts on this field?
Well, it was wonderful to see Cattail Cove win in February in his 8-year-old debut. And he got up and caught doing it just for fun in the last stride. Now, that horse has the potential to improve because it was his first start at Los Alamitos, and he did go favoured in that race, the 3-horse. I just don't see a lot of 400-yard credentials, though, in the PPs for doing it just for fun. There's a race back in March of last year at Sunland when he lost ground quite notably in the closing stages a year ago, and in a 440 at Lone Star, he again was weakening. So that's the query with doing it just for fun, I think. If Cattail Cove could come and get him at the end of 350, he might be able to come and get him again at the end of 400 yards. I wonder if Cattail Cove's ever won 3 straight races in his career. I've got to doubt that. It could be new territory for Cattail Cove if he can keep this up.
Yeah, exactly. He is just reaching his peak, Michael. The way that he just keeps winning races here. Of course, I'm kidding. He's won some really good stakes races in the past. He ran second in the Los Alamitos 2 million futurity. Chris, any thoughts?
Well, you got to give Edberg Verde a look down the inside and give him one more chance, as noted by George. Cattail Cove was our one of our selections in his last race on the preview show, and he was 9-5 in the program and got hammered down. I think it was 4-5, and he got up on top of the wire. Then our selection in the finale did come back to run very, very well and win that night. So it was a pretty good night for us, but Cattail Cove, he's what I call a hard knocker deluxe. This gives you, he's got a heart as big as a track, gives you everything he's got. Looking to make it 3 in a row, that's difficult to do, but he's got to look at the outcome, and especially at the 400-yard distance, because comes off that 350, and he broke relatively well. He was striding out pretty well the final half. So that's a closely matched affair. George's horse in the rail is a big look, and of course, Cattail Cove does as well.
Yeah, I went with Kevin's Weiss Corona coming off of that nice 4th place finish in the Brad McKenzie when he's facing Unrelentless, London Toby, BP Cartel Policy after winning a trial to that very same Brad McKenzie. Cattail Cove is another one of my selections, then Ready for It, moving up to face older horses. I must say Ramiro Castillo, the new trainer on Ready for It. We'll see his name quite a bit, Ramiro Castillo, throughout the racing program. Horses previously trained by Monty Arosa. So that's the field to the Moonist Stakes, $35,000 per 400 yards. And again, a nice cast here for the Moonist Stakes. Chris, Michael, thank you so much for joining. and of course the fans for viewing the show. We're going to leave you with a look back at the great Moonist and one of his most famous victories here at Los Alamitos. Hope to see you all next weekend. Thank you. And here's the running of the Los Alamitos Winter Championship in 2016. The great Moonist from post number 5. The great Heza Dasha Fire breaking from post number 6. And Edberg with the call of this incredible match.
They're all in the gate. And away they go in the Los Alamitos Winter Championship, and Moonist got off to a beautiful start, and Heza Dasha Fire is right alongside Jake Gold to the extreme outside. Here comes Heza Dasha Fire and Moonist, and the matchup we've been waiting for is developing right now. Moonist on the inside, Heza Dasha Fire going stride for stride. Moonist and Heza Dasha Fire, and round 3 goes to Moonist. He gets the knockout punch here over Heza Dasha Fire, and finishing back in third appeared to be Walk the Catwalk. But the matchup we waited for was a great one as Moonist turns the tables here on Heza Dasha Fire.